Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are starting a new fanfiction and it is from Research to Real. This is the one that you guys voted on that you wanted to see next, so I'm going to go ahead and start it. I am going to record it in groups of 3, so the first video will be chapters 1, 2, and 3, the second one will be 4, 5, and 6, and the third one will be 7, 8, and 9, because this is a 9-chapter total fic. It also is about 7,600 words, and we're going to go ahead and get right into all of the details, and then the fanfiction. Okay, as I said, this one is from Research to Real, and it is written by me, Beauty and the Bookshelf. It is rated T, and there are no archive warnings. It is a My Hero Academia fanfiction with Bakugo Katsuki and Kirishima Eijiro as the relationship. The characters in the fic are Bakugo Katsuki, Kirishima Eijiro, and Aizawa Shota. The tags for this fic are mutual pining, fluff, romance, alternate universe college university, alternate universe no quirks, college student Bakugo Katsuki, social media influencer Kirishima Eijiro, strangers to friends to lovers, date not dates, slow burn, slow romance, slow build, Kirishima Eijiro is a ray of sunshine, Bakugo Katsuki is bad at feelings, Professor Aizawa Shota, personal trainer Kirishima Eijiro. And again, this fic is 9 chapters, 7,600 words. Here's the summary. Bakugo signed up to write a paper on performative authenticity, expecting to expose Red Riot as another influencer. What he didn't expect was to meet someone who was genuinely himself, laugh with him, and completely upend his assumptions. By the time the paper was due, Bakugo realized some truths are better than research and some lessons come straight from the heart. Chapter 1. The Assignment. The classroom buzzed with low conversation and the aggressive tapping of laptop keys. Most of the students already half checked out before Aizawa had even started his lecture. Bakugo sat in the back, arms crossed, his notes untouched. The only reason he was even in this damn class was because his advisor said it would broaden his perspective, whatever that meant. People weren't his thing, but writing made sense. It let him say what he wanted without having to talk to anyone. From the front of the room, Aizawa leaned against his desk, like he'd rather be anywhere else, which, to be fair, he probably would. The man looked like he hadn't slept in a week. Hair pulled back, in a loose tie, black hoodie layered underneath a beaten-up blazer that might have been cool if it weren't so aggressively apathetic.
"You're all getting your feature article assignment today,"
Aizawa said, eyes sweeping the room with all the enthusiasm of a wet sock.
"Choose something relevant, cultural, something people give a shit about. No listicles, no top 10s. No BuzzFeed tier nonsense. I want nuance, substance. If that sounds like too much work, drop the class."
A few students laughed awkwardly. Bakugo didn't. He was already flipping through the syllabus handout Aizawa dropped onto the shared drive. Feature article, it read, 5,000 word minimum, due in 4 weeks. Topic: a current cultural trend with social relevance or personal resonance. Must include at least one primary source interview. Bakugo scowled at the screen. Trends? Relevance? Sounded like an excuse for half the class to write puff pieces about hookup apps or campus coffee culture. He could already hear the clickbait titles. This is not about coffee or caffeine, but make it mindful. Barf. Aizawa's voice cut through his mental noise.
"Pick something that says more than it shows. If your article looks good on the surface but falls apart when I poke it, you fail."
Next to him, some girl raised her hand, phone already in selfie mode. "Can I write about, the ethics of lifestyle influencers?"
"You can," Aizawa said, not looking up from his tablet. "If you can define ethics without Googling it."
Bakugo smirked. Maybe this guy wasn't so bad. When it was his turn to pitch a topic, Aizawa liked to hear them out loud, apparently. Bakugo kept it simple.
I'm writing about performative authenticity,
he said, tone clipped.
Influencer culture, vulnerability as a branding tactic.
Aizawa looked up just enough to raise an eyebrow.
Gonna be ironic if you fake your way through it.
Someone across the room snorted. You mean like Red Riot? Bakugo clenched his jaw. What about him? Another voice asked. You know, that guy who posts gym videos and cries in car confessionals. Kinda hot, actually. Bakugo rolled his eyes so hard it almost hurt.
Yeah, nothing screams authenticity like a ring light and a crying selfie.
Aizawa didn't even look up from his tablet.
Fine. Just make sure your cynicism doesn't get in the way of actual analysis.
Bakugo didn't answer. Someone in the back pitched an article about local sustainability projects. Another mentioned how students curated online personalities to match scholarship requirements. That one made him pause. Online personalities. That was the hook, wasn't it? Not the workouts or the followers, but the performance, the illusion. His fingers drummed against the desk. The room kept talking around him, but he was somewhere else already. Back to a late night, a forgotten essay, and a video that had no business sticking in his head. He didn't need to search again. He already knew what he'd find, and this time he'd be watching it on purpose. Chapter 2. Clickbait. Notes. Little bit of a short chapter with some flashback. It started a couple of weeks ago. One late night, one random video, and one stupid smile. The glow of Bakugo's laptop lit up the otherwise dark dorm room, casting sharp shadows on his ceiling. His textbook lay forgotten beside him, half open and totally ignored. He'd told himself he was going to work on his outline. Instead, he sat hunched over the screen, jaw tight, eyes locked on a video of some red-haired idiot smiling into the phone camera. "You're doing better than you think," the guy said, grin soft, voice low and stupidly sincere. Bakugo scoffed under his breath and clicked on the next one. He hadn't meant to watch the first one. It had just popped up on his feed one night while he was scrolling between essay drafts and caffeine crashes. Some workout clip tagged with #NoExcuses and that same dumb smile. He'd nearly kept scrolling. Nearly. But the guy said something about resilience that stuck in his head longer than Bakugo was willing to admit. One video turned into 2, then 5, then the algorithm got smug about it and started shoving Red Riot content in his face like it knew something he didn't. Bakugo hadn't meant to get this invested. He told himself it was for research, a case study, nothing more. But that voice, low, steady, too damn kind, kept crawling under his skin. He'd watched the videos with the intent to dissect them, analyze the tone, the lighting, the word choice, spot the cracks in the mask, but there weren't any, and that pissed him off, because no one was that open without a catch. No one smiled like that without it being for show, right? Bakugo's cursor hovered over the message button. For a long time, he didn't click it. The screen lit his face in pale blue, his reflection barely visible in the laptop's screen. His jaw tight, eyes sharp. He looked like he was trying to win a staring contest. Finally, he clicked. The chat window popped open, blank, waiting. He started typing. "Hey, I'm a student at UA College doing a feature article on influencer culture. Would you be open to an interview?" Ugh, sounds like a fan. Delete. Swore under his breath. "I'm writing a piece on performative vulnerability in influencer spaces. I want to ask you a few questions about your platform." That sounds like I already think he's full of shit. Not wrong, but not subtle. "Hi, I'm taking a journalism course and our assignment is to write about something culturally relevant. I'm interested in interviewing you about your platform. Let me know if you're open to it." Sent. He shut his laptop like it had burned him. Shit. It was out there now. He threw himself back onto his bed and stared at the ceiling like it owed him answers. He didn't even want this guy to say yes. Right? Chapter 3. Red Riot. Bakugo's day drug on. Lectures blurred together, caffeine faded, and his mind kept flickering to the interview. His phone buzzed in his pocket as he walked back to his dorm. He fished it out, sees a message from Red Riot. Red Riot, hey, got your message. I'm down for an interview. What's your timeline? He stops mid-step, heart hammering against his ribs. He almost drops the phone. His chest tightens, but he quickly masks it with a scowl.
Damn it, I wasn't expecting a reply so soon.
His thumbs fly over the keyboard. Bakugo. I'm a student at UA University, got free time this week after classes, usually afternoons and evenings. Later, Bakugo's phone buzzes with a reply. Red Riot. I'm in Musatafu, so I'm local. Let me know what works for you. Bakugo's brows furrowed slightly. Musatafu? That was the city UA was in. He hadn't expected Red Riot to be so close. Bakugo. Cool. Let's do it in person then. How about Thursday at 2? He sets his phone down, trying to ignore the flutter of anticipation in his chest. Time passes. The day of the interview arrived. Bakugo stood in front of a local cafe, checking his watch. He hadn't expected to feel this nervous. He adjusted his jacket, trying to calm his nerves. Bakugo spotted Red Riot approaching from across the street, bright red hair, impossible to miss, that wide grin lighting up his face. Bakugo took a deep breath, tightening his grip on his bag, and stepped forward. His voice came out a little sharper than he intended.
Hey. Hey, you're Red Riot, right? I'm Bakugo. I'm the one who messaged you.
Red Riot's grin only widened as he held out a hand. Yeah, that's me. Good to finally meet you in person. Bakugo glanced at the hand, then shook it quickly, still trying to keep his guard up.
Yeah, same here. Let's get this interview over with.
Together, they walked into the cafe, the noise and buzz of the city fading behind them as the interview began. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me for these first 3 chapters. You guys know when I read my own stories, they're super short. So I hope you'll come back and join me for the next part, because we will be finished this fan fiction so quick, like a week. We're going to be done. And then we'll be able to move on to the one after that. All right. Like I said, hope that you guys will join me for the next one. And if you do, I'll see you next time.